Good morning, YouTube family and friends. I hope you had a great week. My week was started off bad, but it ended okay. It ended okay. So today is Saturday, March 14th, 2026, and this is my week 103 results of being back on Mounjaro. And I got an update for you on my long-term disability. I know last week, if you watched last week's video, I noted that it looked like it was approved, but I wouldn't know for sure until I heard from my claim specialist or if I got something in the mail. So I have an update for you on that. Yeah, we'll see what else I talk about. I'm not sure at this time, but all right, I'll start off with my weigh-in this week. Last week I was at 199, which put me at a total weight loss since going back on Mounjaro of 37 pounds. This week, this morning, I weighed in at 195 pounds. I lost 4 pounds this last week. I truly, I kind of know what it is, but I don't know for sure because it's not like I'm really trying. No, I'm not. Only exercise I'm getting is a little bit when I go to my physical therapy. So other than that, I'm just pretty much laying in bed for most of the day because the issues I'm having. So, but I know my appetite has decreased a lot. I think that there's a couple of medications that I have, or at least one medication that I have that the psychiatrist has me on, that I know has a side effect of eating less. So, like I said, I've been on Mounjaro for so long. I know at some point it stopped being as effective, or I should say that it didn't help control the appetite as much as it used to. So, but yeah, I don't know what it is. It could be a little bit of Mounjaro, a little bit of the medication I'm on, and it could be a little bit just my mental state these last few months. I'm dealing with anxiety. So anxiety, depression, and there's another word. I don't know. It's lost. I've been doing that a lot. My memory. I lose words. I don't know what the words are. It usually comes to me after a little bit, but yeah, it almost makes it seem like I am getting brain fog. That could be from my liver cirrhosis, or it could be from my generalized myasthenia gravis. Because I know I'm not sleeping well. So, but anyway, got off track there. So they said that was a 4 pound weight loss for this last week, which puts me at a total weight loss of 41 pounds for these past 103 weeks of being back on Mounjaro. And that's what, almost 2 years? Almost 2 years? I think see, there was what, 56 weeks in a year? So that'd be 112. So I think that's right. So that gives me 9 more weeks for a full 2 years. No, when I say I was back on Mounjaro, no, I started off on Mounjaro at the very beginning, which was back on December 17th, 2022. And yeah, I started off at 305 pounds. No, that's after I had lost a good amount of weight since I had that gastric sleeve surgery done in November of 2016. And my heaviest was 328 before I had that surgery. And I had that surgery because I was diagnosed with a non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And then also my A1C was just shy of under 10, my A1C. So that was starting to get out of control. And so that's why I decided to have that weight loss surgery. And the first year it worked great. I went from 328 down to 245 pounds. So I lost 83 pounds that first year after the weight loss surgery. Well, then the second year came, and I started to go back into old habits, started to eat more. started to eat more crap. And over the few years, no, several years, from what, 20, it was like 2018 to the end of 2022, I had gone all the way back up to 305. So I didn't gain all of that weight back, but it was most of it. So, but then I said start off on Mounjaro, start at 305, and then I was on that for 33 weeks because, let's see. No, actually, I was on it longer. No, yeah. On July 29th, 2023, I got all the way down on Mounjaro to 217 pounds. So I had lost 88 pounds when I was on Mounjaro the first time. Unfortunately, my insurance stopped covering it after that. So my doctor had to switch me to Ozempic. So that first week on Ozempic ended on 8/5 of 2023. So I started off at 217 on Ozempic. And I had got all the way down to 210, so I lost 7 more pounds within the first 9 weeks of that. But then I started to go back and forth on the weight. And I ended up at 215 on week 18 of Ozempic. So I had lost just 2 pounds in 18 weeks of Ozempic. And I should say there was longer than that. I stopped keeping track of it back then. I got kind of tired of doing it. So I was still on Ozempic through March 30th of 2024 was my first week of being back on Mounjaro. So I went through December, January, February, and most of March. I had gained my weight because it says I started on Mounjaro at 236 pounds. So from 12/2 of 2023 through it'd be 3/23 of 2024, I had gained back 19 pounds, it looks like. No, see, week 18, I was at 215, so actually I gained back 21 pounds. So, but thankfully, my insurance started to cover it again. So thank God, because that Ozempic, it worked a little bit, but it just didn't have the same effect as Mounjaro did. So thank God my insurance started covering it again. So I started on Mounjaro March 30th of 2024 was the first weigh-in on that. So, and I lost 1 pound in that first weigh-in. So from week 1 all the way to where we're at right now, this is week 103, I'm down to 195. So that's how I get 41 pounds total weight loss. This time on Mounjaro, the first time on Mounjaro, I lost 88 pounds. So if you add them together, I lost a total of 129 pounds of being on Mounjaro, with the in-between there of Ozempic, where I went back up. So I love Mounjaro. It's great for my diabetes. My A1C, the last time I had it checked, was 4.5. Just right on the bottom of normal. It's almost a little too low. So, but anyway, that was a brief history of my experience, because I don't talk about Mounjaro a whole lot anymore, because I've been kind of designating this for all my other health issues, my liver cirrhosis, my generalized myasthenia gravis, my health issues, and my mental issues, and then also these tremors and shakiness. They're one and the same. That I've been experiencing, and they're getting worse. So, yeah, it sucks. So okay, I'll talk about that a little bit. Last week, I started the occupational therapy, because my physical therapy is mainly really working on my legs, but they saw how bad my hands were shaking. I told them that they're getting worse for me, and my arms, like right through here, get sore whenever I use them. Like if I take a shower, they get sore. Definitely when I'm drying off from the shower. No, I'm using my arms a lot to dry my whole body. Just doing this a little bit, I'm feeling the soreness starting already. And the soreness is also part of MG, whether it's weakness, soreness. Yeah, it's really bad, and I'm experiencing shakiness in my legs and in my arms, especially in my hands, quite a bit now. It is every day. Some days are better than none. Last Monday, it was awful. Oh man. From the time I woke up to the end of the day, it was awful. So, yeah, I woke up Tuesday feeling better, thank God. But then I went to occupational therapy and physical therapy, and that shot my legs for the day. So, and also my hands a little bit because occupational therapy focuses on my hands. And I had my eval, and they confirmed that I am dealing with bad shakiness. A lot of times when I'm just pitching my fingers, like I'm holding, one of the tests they did, they had me pick up like a circle peg and stick it in the hole. And as after just a little bit, I tried to pick them up, and my hand started just shaking as I was trying to pick them up. And then on the second day, because we ran out of time on that first day of testing, and on the second day, they had me do kind of the same thing, but it's with instead of a wood peg, it was a like a metal peg. It was kind of like a round shape with a kind of like a. It's almost like an old-fashioned lock, where you have the cylinder shape, and then a piece of it underneath, sticking in the keyhole. But it's a smaller version of it, and I have to fit it in the peg holes as well. But they're shaped, and these things are tiny, and the holes are they're they're in different directions, and so I have to pick up the peg, turn it around in my hand so it fits the hole that I want to stick it in, and then try to stick it. No room for error, and so yeah, almost immediately my right hand started to shake. My left hand lasted a little bit longer than my right hand. And I told him that my right hand is worse than my left hand, just like my right leg is worse than my left leg on the tremoring and shaking stuff. Yeah, so they verified with my initial eval that they wanted to start working with me 2 times a week for a month, and they said they can get me to be better within a month. We'll see. So, and based off that, I'll go in now with my results, or what I learned from MetLife for my long-term disability. My claim specialist finally called me on Thursday, and she told me I was approved. Yay! And I got my back pay deposited in my bank account. So that was yesterday. So, and I got released today. So that was a nice amount. I went back they officially had me out of work the last day I actually worked, which was June 6th, because then I had my thymectomy surgery for my myasthenia gravis on June 9th, Monday. So Friday, June 6th, Friday, that was my actually last day of work. Then I was off for 6 weeks to recover from my thymectomy surgery, and I've never been back since. So yeah, when I got released from the thoracic surgeon to go back to work, I called up work and I told him I'm not ready to come back to work. No, I'm struggling mentally. I started to have bad anxiety, especially after having 2 surgeries this last year. Because on March 19th of last year, I had the implant for my sleep apnea, where they wrap that nerve that controls the tongue going out with a nerve stimulator, and it has a cord right there. That's a cord. Right there, you can see it. Goes down. It's underneath. inside of me, and the battery is implanted right here. So, oops, see the scar right there, and the battery is right here. I can feel the battery, and the sensor wire that goes to the rib, that when I'm sleeping I have it turned on. It senses when I take a breath in, and then it stimulates the tongue to move forward, so my tongue doesn't fall back and block my breathing. That's what happens with my obstructive sleep apnea. Is it falls backwards. If the airway collapsed sideways, then this wouldn't have helped, and I wouldn't be able to get this because it wouldn't have helped. But yeah, and then the other wire runs up through there again and up here to that. So yeah, of course, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know where I'm at with that device. So I'm not going to get into that on this video. If you want, you can go watch my other videos. I think I talked about it in October, late October or November, somewhere in there. So maybe late November, December. I can't remember now. So, but yeah, she said I was approved, which I thought I was, because I said when I logged in, I saw it showing approved. So, but she said I was approved for my mental struggles. She said that their medical staff did confirm, based on the notes from the doctors, that I do have a restriction due to my medical issues, a physical restriction. But they said since I have a sedentary job, no, I'm an accountant, work in accounting, so I have a desk job. And they said for my desk job that I had, that my restrictions aren't enough to qualify me for long-term disability. But I let her know that it's gotten worse. And I said that physical therapy recommended to have me do occupational therapy, and they went and asked my neurologist, and he agreed. And so, and I let her know, my claim specialist, her name is Gilda, and I let her know that, my eval that I had this last week verified that I am having issues, and that they wanted to see me 2 times a week for this first month and see how it goes, which they claim they can fix me, but I don't see how. So, but she said, great, that could potentially help you get qualified for long-term disability, as well for your physical health as well as your mental health. So I kind of want to be approved both ways. So, because I know I am doing a little bit better mentally right now, but because I think my money situation is kind of, this last week, since I knew I was approved and got verified on Thursday that yes, I am approved, I'm getting 66.67% of my pay, and I made just a little over 6 figures this last year when I was working. And so I'm getting a decent amount. I know it won't last forever, and they want updated every time I go see my psychiatrist and therapist, they want to be updated. And I told them I don't get to see those notes. It's not like I can go on my chart and find my notes from the session. I can with my physical therapy, my occupational therapy, and my other regular doctor visits. I'll see notes. They'll post the notes from the session within a day, usually a day or 2. But I don't get those from the psychiatrist. And psychiatrist, all she really does is, okay, how did medicine go for you this go around? And I tell her what it is, and she asks what I think we can do, and she decides what to do with my medications, whether to keep them the same or change them a little bit. So, and she said, okay, that's fine. I let her. She says, just let me know when you're seeing her again, and I'll make that note, and we'll reach out to her, and also we'll reach out. Either she can get us the physical, no, the psychiatrist. No, therapist. I hate when I lose words. So I don't know if they're going to reach out to my therapist as well. They asked if they were in the same office. Like, yes, they work for the same company. So, And but yeah, so so I let her know that I see my psychiatrist. I was supposed to see her on the 12th, which was Thursday, but they had to reschedule it for some reason. My psychiatrist had to get it rescheduled. She has something else going on now. So I see her this coming Wednesday, the 18th, and then I'll see my therapist on Thursday, the 19th. So right now I'm seeing my psychiatrist monthly. The last two times it's gone a whole month without seeing her again. So that's what she chose to do now, and I let Gilda know that. But I'm seeing my therapist every 2 weeks. So I let her know that those are my appointments right now, and of course we don't got anything scheduled beyond that. No, we'll wait to see how these appointments go to see when they want to see me again. The the therapist, he actually asked me this last time. He's like, what do you want to get out of these sessions? Because I'm getting the feeling that I don't know if you're getting much out of it. And I was honest with him. I told him I've been someone, throughout my life, especially adult years, that I don't see how going to a therapist will help. I really don't. And I don't know what I've got out of it so far. No, I told him it's more of a bitch session. You know, just talking to him about all my issues, and he's like, "That's fine, but I need to know how I can help you." I was like, "Well, isn't that what I'm supposed to do? Isn't that what you do when you see a therapist? As you talk about your life, how things are going?" And so I don't know. He said to think about what I want to get out of the therapy sessions because he wants to continue to work with me, but he kind of needs to know what I want out of it, and I don't know what to tell him. I've gone a little over a week now, and I don't know what to say. It feels good to talk to him, just have somebody to talk to about what I'm going through. So it's making me stressed out. It's not helping with my anxiety because I want to continue to see him, and for my long-term disability, I think I have to continue to see him. So I need to tell him something, but I don't know. I don't know. Because obviously, me just talking about how it's going, what I'm experiencing, how's my mental health going? I thought that's what I was supposed to do. I thought that's what therapy was about. But he wants something more. I don't know what to give him. So, yeah. But anyway, the Gilda, my claim specialist, said that no, I have to file for SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance. And she says, no, again, I had 6 months to do it, but she says, I thought it was 6 months from when I got approved. It's not. It's 6 months from when they'll start to pay me, and when they start to pay me is 6 months from my last day of work. And since my last day of work was June 6th, my long-term disability through my jobs insurer, MetLife, started on December 6th. So I got paid this week for December 6th through February 28th, the end of February. And then I think next week I think next Friday the 20th, I think I saw. I don't know because I saw it posted online and then it went away. So I don't know what that means. She did say it took her a little bit longer because I saw it first and then it went away and came back with just the first pay for December, January, or through February. And she's like, well, yeah, that's good that you can check that stuff, but she said I had to go through a second review, a second approval. So I approved it, but then I had to go through a second approval because the initial payout that I got was above her limit. So she said that's why it posted, but that's why it's first said I was being paid on the 10th, which the 10th. No, it said the 9th, Monday the 9th. And then went to the 10th, and then the 11th, and then it stayed the 11th, but they said it takes a few days to actually receive it. So give it couple of business days. And so that's said I got it in my bank account on Friday the 13th. So yeah, but then next, I think on the 20th I'll get it for March, for the full month of March, and I'll get it. No, I'll get paid one time a week, or one time a month. God, I hate this. So, but yeah. So, but anyway, I have till May 6th to apply for SSDI. I have to show them proof that I applied. I don't have to be approved or declined yet, but I have to show them that I actually applied for it. And they said they do have attorneys that work with this. So, and they said I should be getting a call from them soon to see if I would like to work with them. They said no. Gilda said I will have to pay them, but they said if you use them to help you with your application, then they can get all my medical records from MetLife. So I won't have to, if I go through another attorney that I wanted to go to, then it'll be on me and the attorney to get all my medical records again. So it's like, I'm not going through that again. That was stressful. So I told her I will probably use your guys' attorney that you work with. So that's where that's at. My physical therapy says going on my cruise will be fine. She asked me what I'm scared of with it. And I let her know because I fly out on April 2nd, and my cruise leaves from Miami April 4th. So, and it's on the brand new Norwegian Luna. She just left over, Norwegian just took ownership of it this last week. And I believe it's officially on its way through the Atlantic Ocean to get to its new home port of Miami. So there's people on that cruise, technically, the transatlantic cruise. But so technically that's the first cruise of the new ship. But that's kind of how they go through real life test simulations, because they have actual people on the ship cruising to its home port. So, but I am on the first cruise from its home port. So this is the first time I'm actually going to be on a brand new ship. But I told her I was worried how bad my legs and hands and arms have been shaking lately. No, every time I do, like if I'm walking around, my legs can be fine, or they can be tremory, shaky, or I can have just the internal sensation of the shakes, tremors coming on, but they don't come on. So you can't see the tremors or the shakiness on my legs. Usually it's right around, you can see it around my knees. So, because my knees, it was almost like my knees want to buckle. So, I told her I'm worried. She said, no, what's the worst that can happen? She said, you just have to probably rest more often than what you would normally have to do when I go on my cruises. So she's like, go on your cruise. It's like, okay. I said, I probably should take my cane. And she's like, yes, take your cane. So, especially at the airports. So I'm going to go ahead and go on my cruise. I got 3 cruises coming in April and May. I'm on the brand new Luna. Then at the end of April, I'm on the Norwegian. Oh my God, I can't remember it, but it's the Beagle Tournament cruise. No, I got an offer for a free cruise and a free entry into the Beagle Tournament, so I'm doing that. Escape, Norwegian Escape. I told her when I can't remember something, it usually comes to me within a few minutes, but it's still irritating when that happens. And then in May, I think it's like May 15th is when it leaves. I'm back on the Luna again, because it's going to different ports. So this cruise coming up, it's going to the ports I've been to. It's Cozumel, it's Costa Maya, all those ports down in the Mexico area. So I'm just going to stay on the ship. I've done a lot. I didn't see any of the excursions I really wanted to do, and I've been to those ports so much already on my, this is going to be my 14th or 15th cruise now in the last 3 years. So, but the Luna, again, when I'm on her again in May, it's going down to the Virgin Islands. It's going to hit like St. Martin, Saint, oh my God. Anyway, Virgin Islands. So, but oh my God, it's 30 minutes long. I'm sorry, folks. I thought for sure I could get this video in within 10 to 15 minutes, but again, you know how I go. I start talking, and yeah, so all right, I'm going to end it here, and you all have a great weekend, great next week, and remember to live life to the fullest, because you just don't know what life's going to throw at you. I'm living proof. So be kind to everybody when you can, and just remember I love you all. Have a good day. Bye-bye.